Alright, everybody. I'll just make sure the stream's working for everybody now, because obviously I had to edit some of the details because YouTube doesn't prompt you to change them when you start a stream. You have to remember to set that up and then do the stream. So it looks like Stronghold Crusader is at least working with OBS now. I'm trying it today. I changed some of the settings. You might notice some flickering though, because this for some reason flickers when you've got other apps open on the desktop. I've only got OBS open, but that will probably flicker now and again. I don't think slow mode's on, is it? You should be able to all put messages in as soon as you start doing them. Annoyingly, I think when I've stopped and started the stream, people haven't realised yet they need to click on the new stream to view it, because there's only 3 people when there was loads of comments. As soon as I started, it's up to 5 now. Right, cool. Shall I start? Hopefully the computer fans and stuff in the background aren't too loud. I've got some foam now I've put on the back of this microphone that should cut them down a bit, but also means you should hear my voice quite well. Let's do a custom game and set one of these up. This looks like an alright map. Alright, let's do me versus 2 AIs, because I'm a lot more competent at Stronghold Crusader than I am at Stronghold 2. Don't forget to like the video if you're watching the stream live, because I think that helps other people see it. 2,000 gold, that's fairly low, isn't it? So that should be fine. Right, let's start. So you can see a bit of flickering here, which is quite irritating, but sadly you just have to put up with that because this is an old game. This is the HD re-release of it, but it still doesn't run, you know, totally perfectly on modern systems, unfortunately. There's not much fertile ground there, is there? Probably cram a thing in there. So is everybody familiar with Stronghold Crusader? This is probably the best RTS game ever made in my opinion, although I know that's a controversial statement. I'm not going to have enough resources early on to actually build lots of competent stuff, so what I'm going to have to do is get a barracks up with a market, buy an armory. Not buy an armory, buy weapons into the armory initially, then get a load of archers up. Yeah, I've already explained that to everybody. This is an old game. I'd not recommend watching this stream if you have epilepsy. Sadly, it's impossible to play this without background windows screwing up. Right, where are the crossing points? So there's one at the top in the north there. Is there one further down? Right, there's one in the south, one in the north, so I'll put all these archers there for now. Move a load of those to there. And what I'll probably do is buy a load of wood in so I can start setting up a load of industry using that wood. Because iron mining is very good for bringing in gold. I started doing this about 5 minutes ago, so I'm not very far into it yet. You can actually check how long I've been streaming for at the bottom of the stream. Favourite gas mask is the Avon CT12. I'm actually starting to think people troll by asking that because of how many times I've answered it. There's an FAQ series where it specifically answers that question. So maybe I'll just stop replying to people when they ask that. Alright, no worries, it's just that I get asked that several times on every stream, often by the same people over and over again. Let's start selling some of that iron off. Right, what I'm going to do at the beginning is set up lots of infrastructure for spamming archers, then a bit further into the game I'll start probably making pikemen. No, there's no such thing as a prop GP5 filter. I'm under attack, which side from? Ah, the Caliph in the north. The slaves are really weak infantry, they're just good at starting fires, which is annoying. His archers are more of a problem, but they're not actually moving up very far. So what I can do is send these guys over and then flush them out. Alright, let's not make this a political stream. I would rather we don't talk about genocides and stuff while playing a game. The S10's original filters are NBC filter, like nearly all masks filters are. Cheers, Gasmask612. I didn't actually get any Easter eggs or anything like that, a bit too old for that, so didn't get any nice chocolate. Got enough iron, haven't I, to make a couple more iron mines. Let's do one more. There we go. And build another hovel for more peasants, but I might need a bit more food supply coming in. Probably get some bakeries and wheat farms. What I'll do though is buy some more wood and then set up a stone income. Sorry about it flickering, but as I said earlier, there's no way of sorting that out. The game's Stronghold Crusader, as the title of the video suggests. Yeah, but if the S10 filter's expired, it's not going to protect you from anything. Right, where they're sending swordsmen over there, they're a bit more dangerous, so let me pull back some of these units. The macemen I should be able to kill through concentrated arrow fire, but the other one's going to give me a bit more trouble. Yeah, I'll pull more of my archers back again. Right, I need to get a wow in case they set my stuff on fire. Right, pull these back again a bit more. Let's put them back to that position. Hopefully, now that attack's failed, they don't have a massive economy going for doing a lot more. I see there's more of the slaves moving up, but they're not a problem. And he has got some crossbowmen there, though, which are a bit more of a problem. I really wish there was a way you could get this game not to flicker like crazy, but sadly I think it's totally impossible to do that if you're streaming, because you need everything minimised to begin with, which has caused problems. Okay, now I've got the wheat farm. I want a couple more wheat farms, but 2 wheat farms, put a mill there, and then have some bakeries in a line here. Some more houses. At least I've got stone coming in now, so I have to sell off all that iron for now, get a load more money in. Get a cathedral, make the people happier because I've got a cathedral, and then I can get some actual defences now. Right, okay, let's get a gatehouse set up here. I might as well put a tower on one side of it. Right, there we go. Let's get the archers up in the towers. Let me just see if I can do something to sort out that flickering. Hang on. Can I minimise this? Will it let me do that? minimise that as well. Now if I go into Stronghold, will that sort out the flickering? You die in a fallout scenario after the bomb. Right, hopefully that will stop the flickering now. Now I'll slowly start building a wall around my castle, but it's not that urgent because I think they're going to mostly try and attack the northern side. You'd have to basically hope you lived away from everybody, but in the UK you wouldn't survive simply because of the land mass. There's not enough space. Watch Threads if you want to really know what happens after a nuclear war. It isn't very pretty. I have actually done a video though on all that if you're interested. Probably better to watch the video than sort of keep asking me about it during the stream. Because I'm obviously trying to concentrate on this as well. Now he's sending more of the swordsmen up, but they should be fine for dealing with because I've got all this stuff here. I'm going to start getting a perimeter wall up now. Waiting for some more stone to come in. Now what I can start doing, because I've got 1,000 gold, is start setting up some armourers' workshops. I browse K now and then, but K, like a lot of Reddits, are full of people who really have no idea what they're talking about regarding a lot of subjects, so I prefer not to surround myself with Dunning-Krugers. I mean, K can be interesting at times, but on pretty much any topic you look at, there's going to be people who have no idea what they're talking about, shouting loud, and because it's an anonymous board, you can't even contain that to certain users. Yeah, you'd obviously be vaporized if a nuke landed on you. Right, let's sell off a load more of that spare iron, and then I can get some pole turners' workshops and get pikes being made. Then I can start spamming pikemen once I have enough pikes in production. You'd pretty much die instantly. You get totally evaporated at a molecular level if a nuke goes off. But you can't really ask people who've been nuked, have they felt it? Right, let's expand the armory now. I've got more wood needed, wood needed, wood needed. Buy some more planks. Yeah, they're moving a few archers up there, but not enough to be a significant threat. What I'll do in a moment, when I have the stone, how good I do have the stone, I'll put a defence turret there, move most of those archers into that, and then start sort of filling up more towers with archers. I think the troop limit you can have in this is quite high, so it's pretty hard to totally overdo the troop limit. I've got so much money coming in, what I might as well do is get rid of the Fletcher's workshops. Is that all my Fletcher's workshops? I think so. And then I can just buy bows in as and when I need them. I'm going to put up more towers as and when I need them as well. Probably wouldn't hurt to have one around here, but I don't need a very big one here. Okay, let's buy in a load of bows. Looks like I've got enough food coming in for now, so I might as well. You can cut open a GP5 filter and things like that. It's just not a good idea to, because obviously there's asbestos inside it. If you cut open something with asbestos in, you risk letting the asbestos go airborne, then you risk inhaling the asbestos fibres, then you risk getting lung cancer or other lung problems. So it's a thing you can do. You can open it with a tin opener, it's just not a good idea to. I'm tempted at some point, if I wear a proper P3 mask and everything and do it next to a HEPA filter, I might open a GP5 and show you all what's in it at some point, but it's not really a great idea to do unless you're prepared to do it properly. Yeah, an M74 filter's probably got very similar stuff into a GP4 filter. If you inhaled a load of it, that's definitely not good. I mean, you could use an S10 filter when opening a mask like that, yeah, that would be fine. But you also need to think about where the asbestos goes. If you do it somewhere that's kind of either in your house or in your garden, you're going to contaminate the area with asbestos fibres. Let's buy a load more bows in, so a load more iron, then yeah, a load more archers. I'd like to, but obviously I can't afford to do that. I think I get asked that on pretty much every stream. Yeah, I love America, but it's not like I can just afford to instantly go and get there and get a visa and everything like that. Alright, let's get even more iron mines. I've not blocked off access to any of those, no good. I need to soon start getting an attack force ready. houses, which might need me to get more food production up. If I delete that orchard now, I can probably set the farms up in a better layout. Right, there's still a lot of unbaked bread because there's all that flour there, so let's set up a load more of these. I think really they should do a trade policy in America. If you're one of the people that hates the Constitution, you're welcome to leave and move to somewhere in Europe, and then if you're somebody in Europe who actually likes the idea of civil liberties and things like that, you should be able to move to America. That'd be a great exchange program, wouldn't it? I assume there must be an archer's workshop somewhere. Ah, that's where it is. Right, I'll delete that. There we go. I get some more pole turners. The thing I always find funny in this is the unit I'm making are called pikemen, yet they have a Swiss halberd, not a pike. And historically, if they were English polearm users, they'd have a billhook. So neither of those weapons. But oh well. He's using horse archers now. Right, what I'll do is start getting siege engineers up who can use the fire blisters. And I can get some trebuchets and catapults and besiege the pig who's there. He should be the easier target, I think, than the Caliph. So we'll flank round and go for him. We'll keep letting them hit my gatehouse on this side if they want to do that, because they're not getting anywhere. That guy's shooting arrows, but are they managing to hit anything? Yeah, I think they are, right. Let's get some more towers up there so I can give my guys a bit more reach. There we go, hopefully that will... Oh, cheers! Alright, Deutschweifen. What speed am I running at? Oh, I can speed the game up a bit now. Or at least that flickering stopped by changing all those, basically just minimising the game. I'll make sure if I do that again I sort that out. And that should do for now. Oh, his attack's going to fail pretty quickly. If you burn... it depends how well it burns. If it burns up completely, there's probably not asbestos in it. If it partially burns, because remember the Soviets didn't make like 100% asbestos particulate filters, it's only a couple of percent mixed in with the other stuff. So if it's got asbestos in, you probably assume there's going to be some residue left that doesn't burn. But most of it will burn, if that makes sense. The Mighty Posk, have you seen my video on... what's it called? I did a thing where I showed you how you can make GP5 filters safe. You get a particulate layer free, like, soft pad for, like, the 3M filters, the combination filters you assemble yourself. You cut that into a disc, then you put it between the Soviet masks and their filters. That's one way of doing it. That's not the most efficient method of doing it, because it massively increases the breathing resistance, so it's much harder to breathe the mask on. But it would work if you wanted something to protect you, to wear GP5 filters, or at least it should. I'll say that as a disclaimer. It should work, I can't guarantee it. Another thing is they're quite good at knocking me out of those towers by get a mercenary post, then I can replace them with the Arabian archers when they die. That way I don't need to keep buying bows one. This is a very economy and efficient way of doing it, but it's a bit easier to micromanage. Okay, let's sell a lot of this stone off I don't need. Oh, the granary's full. Okay, I'll get another house for now rather than increasing tax. Food rations. Let's get some more parkmen. Alright, moving out to attack. Alright, cool, Mike, you alright? Yeah, the only mask I have that's like a fireman's mask is... oh, better move some of these guys. Listen. The only thing I have like the fireman's mask is that Sieb Gorman mask the Ministry of Defence bought at one point, which they didn't really have a purpose for, and then they got rid of. I don't have any fireman equipment because I don't have oxygen tanks or anything like that. So I can't really do videos on like fireman equipment and stuff like that. This was the game, Mike, I tried to stream like a week ago when I ended up streaming Stronghold 2 for a bit and then did the spooky sort of story video. But this was the game I was trying to stream, but I've got it set up now so it actually works properly to stream. Yeah, the Sieb Gorman one only works really with positive air pressure. I've got that pump I made myself to do that, but otherwise I can't really use that Sieb Gorman mask, unfortunately. Okay, let's get all these pikemen over the river in a moment. Let's build some trebuchets. Probably get some more engineers, actually. That way I can get build even more fire ballistas. I don't know, I just find them interesting. Don't really know what started it off. My granddad used to talk to me a lot about World War II, so it could have been that, but... like I said, the reason I get a lot of gas masks compared to other things is just they're a lot cheaper to buy, like deactivated rifles and other equipment's often expensive. I find a lot of camos interesting as well and stuff like that. When it's dark enough tonight, I'm going to try and get some more infrared footage with my night vision devices. But I'll have to wait for it to get properly dark to do that. He's walking slightly faster than they shoot the things. Right, let's knock down that. Right, let's go totally overboard with fire ballistas. I can get a siege tower, can't I? I can't remember if that's a 4 or 5 man operation, but I might as well get one. Ah, 4, not 5. Oh, ah crap! They can actually hit that stuff there, can't they? Ooh. Ah, those guys will die on my wall if they try and charge the base. Ones that have got through the oh, no, none of them made it. That's good. They got one of my trebuchets though. Ah, he has low walls, doesn't he? So I can't actually use a tower against that. Or can I? Oh, I can there, yeah. Right, let's move all this up. I'll get my siege ballistas to shoot the macemen. Right, I might as well just bring that gate down, it'll be faster. Ah, send them all back round though. There we go. Yeah, I mean this is an RTS game, so it's, you know, obviously building troops and everything. I like Theme Park World, that was good. There's all like Roller Coaster Tycoon as well, aren't there? That's similar to those. I get a load more pikemen. Even though they're not pikemen as we discussed earlier. I need a load more Arabian archers in that tower. Oh, I've got a lot of iron there, that's good. Alright, sell all that off and get a load more pikemen. Really, I need more armourers' workshops, don't I, for this, because I'm got so much iron stockpiled now that it'd be a good idea to have even more armour, because then if I get excess armour I can sell that for a lot more than regular excess iron. Oh yeah, that should do for now. Build another house to build a couple more nice things. The only airsoft site I've been to, mate, is Finmere. That's annoying, some of them are going around the wrong way. But as I said, the issue I have with Airsoft is just simply that a lot of my mates are really hard to organise going to it with, so then I end up not going because it's actually just really hard to organise properly. But Finme is alright. I've been there a few times. When I went a lot more recently, they had it a lot better marshalled than that. The thing I've noticed with Airsoft, though, I mean this probably applies all over the country, is if you go on like a wet, miserable, horrible day when a site's still running it, you'll probably have the people there who really want to be playing it, not the people who sort of cheat and take the piss, but the people who actually want to play Airsoft. You get a lot of the ex-soldiers and stuff if you go on sort of wet, horrible days, you know, people who are really into doing it as a hobby, whereas if you go when the weather's good, you're more likely to get the sort of chavvy people who don't want to play this thing properly. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, what you're saying with that Linux chicken, that, yeah, I'm assuming you're right, that it's kept just at the pressure threshold, so it's positive pressure still, but as soon as you then exhale, it builds the pressure up just enough that it opens the valve briefly. Can I hit anything over his wall at the moment? I can hit his quarries, I think, properly. Move these up slightly and we'll see. Because what I want to do is, if I can hit inside his castle with these fire ballistas, I can set the entire thing on fire. But we'll burn down the quarries and all that sort of stuff. Can I hit any of that? Or will the wall block the... Oh, there we go. Right, I might as well set the pikeman rally location to where I'm actually putting them now. So put it there. So we can just send them out this sort of side now. There's only one guy to deal with. Stronghold Crusader, as the name of the stream would imply. Now let's start dealing with more of those archers. I mean, this was called Spooky Stream originally, because I forgot to change the name of the stream, but yeah, it's now set to what it actually is, Stronghold Crusader. The thing I like about this, compared to things like Age of Empires, is that you can actually put troops on all the walls and gatehouses and things, and if you have a high tower, that gives them like a range advantage when shooting down on troops. So this game's kind of a lot more in-depth with siege mechanics. Because everybody likes crossbows, I'll make some crossbowmen for everybody to see. So let's buy 25 crossbows, 25 leather armour, and then we'll get a load of crossbowmen. Cool, any idea how powerful the crossbow you made was, or was it just like a little lightweight thing? Because I've still got a massive surplus of iron, I'll sell a load more of that. Buy a load more halberds, and then get another load of these. I mean, I don't need to, because I basically crushed the guy, but we might as well just rub it in. I mean, I'm only playing against the AI, not people. A load of them has stopped there, I don't know why, because the gates are all open. 86 of them, apparently. Okay, right, send all them there. I ordered an £80 prod for my one of my big crossbows today because the £105 prod I really like. I like my £40 prod, but that's not quite powerful enough, so I thought I'll buy an £80 prod because they're less than 30 quid to get a prod with postage. And then I'll put that on my £175 crossbow. because that one I rarely use because of how much effort it takes to cock it, and it's a bit too powerful for the garden. Then I can actually get around to using that crossbow body a bit more. That's pretty cool. I'll try and look at that if I remember. It moves the crossbowman up a bit more. The crossbows have slightly shorter range than the traditional bows. Oh, crap, he had some pitch there. Right, I've lost most of my crossbowmen there, but I should hopefully be able to return fire on those. Yeah, I'll move my giant crossbows up the ballistas to deal with those, although I think ballistas are technically torsion engines, aren't they, rather than crossbows, but they're similar enough. 227 pikemen, that's a good number. Yeah, I imagine with the Barnet as well, because you're using that cocking mechanism, that's going to sort of halve the draw weight, so it's going to be super easy to cock with that sort of folding stock mechanism, and I think for garden use it's definitely going to be the right sort of power. Should be their archers completely dealt with in a moment. Then I'll just swarm 200 odd pikemen in to deal with the rest of them. I can get another 30 odd pikemen now. Yeah, he's got nearly all my ballistas. Right, this is going to end very badly for him. I'll probably do another match of this after this one because there's a lot of people still coming into the stream and I've only been on sort of 40 odd minutes. There we go. I have no idea if they make children's NBC suits. I imagine they might, but I think they'd be very expensive because they're not sort of, you know, a sought-after thing. Let's do this map, but I'll change the opponents. I'll put one, like, quite good opponent on, as opposed to, sort of two mediocre ones. Saladin's pretty competent. So's the wolf. We'll do Saladin. You can sit right back there. Nah, this is just playing against the AI, Mike. You can play this online, because it's such an old game, you have to do it with a lot of third-party programs. I wouldn't try and really play online while streaming either, because, one, I'd probably get my ass kicked, and two, it's not that easy to do, because when I'm streaming I'm using a lot of my internet bandwidth for uploading the video sort of as I stream, so obviously if I'm trying to then play an online game that's not gonna work too well. Right, that should be enough apple farms. I should have bought a market. Oh, I still got plenty of wood, it's piled up there, isn't it? Right, okay, quite a few trees there, put a few woodcutters things there, get a market. Then what else do I need? Just extend the stockpile, buy some more wood, get some hovels. And most importantly, I need to start getting the iron coming in. And I need an armory. Need some more stone for the barracks. Oh no, not stone for the barracks, I got stone for the barracks. Build the barracks there. How far? Right, build the wall. This would be a good place for it. Can I build my wall even further away? Or where's the kind of limit to where I can build it? Suppose I can effectively wall here. So, wall on the other side of the iron because I love that iron. Can I? Yeah, that's too far away, isn't it? Yeah, I'll build a gatehouse here. Alright, let's do what I usually do, kickstart my weapons by buying them. Then, once I've got my economy going a bit more, I'll start production of actual weapons. See ya, if you're off. I mean, like I've said before to other people, what you can do is buy thick, really good raincoats, and then use raincoats as NBC suits. Because the principle of most NBC suits are basically just thick raincoats. I mean, against blister agents like mustard gas, I imagine raincoats wouldn't stand up as long, but against just like vapor chemical weapons, they should be pretty competent, I'd imagine. I can't see any reason they wouldn't work. I've had people go, no, you were wrong, but never explain it, so as far as I'm aware, they should work fine. Alright, we'll get some stone production up in a moment. I'll just buy some more wood in. For now, I'll sell the 7 iron I've got there. Buy some wood. He's starting to build his castle up. Hasn't got it finished yet, like I haven't got mine finished, but I'm actually going to move that barracks further back a bit, I think, and then just manually send troops further forwards when I need to, because otherwise it's going to get in the way of where I want to build my wall. Yeah, I've just got enough stone to do that bit of wall, but obviously I'll reinforce that as when I get more stone. Probably just get a small if you're only 5 foot. But a lot of NBC suits, I think, are just kind of one size fits all things, where you have to hope you're not 6 foot something where you won't get into it, but I think most go to about 6 foot something. Alright, good. Next shipment of stones arrived. Let's build a really thick wall there. And then I'll put some wall stairs here. Then when I've got a bit more stone, I'll start getting towers up for that wall. Right, I'll get a couple of Fletcher's workshops, but I don't really need many. Sell the iron again for now, then in a bit I'll start getting armourer's workshops up again. Might get even more iron mines up because I need that iron. Right, looks like I've got a fair bit more stone. Might as well just do one of the really big, good round towers. Is there something blocking my thing there? There's typically a little tree there blocking my wall, so I can build around it. It's just a bit irritating. No, fortunately it won't let anybody link links in there, even if I would let them do it. Unless you're the person doing the stream, nobody can post links, it just deletes them as soon as you try and make them. Okay, let's get... Tell you what, this game, because I've got so much iron coming in, I might as well make swordsmen rather than pikemen. So swordsmen need swords in the armour. If you give them a polearm, they become pikemen. If you give them swords, they become swordsmen. If you give them a horse as well, they become knights. So I might build a couple of stables just so I can have them both knights and swordsmen. In the earlier Stronghold games like this, the 2D ones, you can't get them to dismount. So knights aren't actually as versatile as swordsmen, but they are very good for quick sort of raids because they have heavy armour and do a lot of damage. Right, I'll sell that off to about that amount again. Any stone I get now I can just simply sell because I've got my wall sort of pretty thick. I might make it a bit thicker actually, but I shouldn't need to. I think that's going to be fine. Might as well get rid of this bit here. No purpose to keeping that. Asbestos won't do any damage to your skin, but you don't want to keep it around because obviously you can contaminate something with asbestos and then breathe it in at a later point. Looks like he's planning his first attack fairly soon. So okay, we know he's coming. Just need to get his ballistas down now, which are fairly tough, but there we go. Oh, he's got assassins. They're actually a bit more of a threat. I don't think he had very many of them. Oh, armory's full. Yeah, I have to build an extension to that, won't I? Now I've got a lot of weapons industry. Yeah, that should be a big enough armory. I'll repair that wall where the swordsman damaged it. Will it let me build one of the big towers further out a bit? Ah yeah, cool, I can. Okay, I might as well build another one of those big towers, put it out a bit, and then use it kind of as a troop platform. So I'll sell off a load of those to get the numbers roughly even again. Buy a load more bows in. But again, I'm still getting a massive iron surplus, so I'll sell off a load of that. Well, when it comes to radiation, there is basically 3 primary types. You've got alpha, beta and gamma, at least of ionising radiation. Alpha, as far as I understand, by volume is the most dangerous if it actually gets in your body, and that's through inhalation and things like that. But gamma is the most likely to get into your body because it's sort of the most penetrating of the radiation types, so I'd say probably gamma. But regardless if it's alpha, beta or gamma, you don't really want it in your body. If you want to know something sort of slightly crazy, they used to, as like one of those snake oil salesman type things, they used to sell radioactive products for people's health. And there's several famous people in the 1920s and 30s that died from using those products. What you can do, Likes Chicken, is just type in what the name of the site is if people want to Google it, but don't put like the .coms or whatever, then the chat won't let you do it. Oh, cheeky bastards. He's killing my iron mines from over there with a catapult. Alright, I'll have to deal with that in a minute then. Let me get some... I'll get some stables up now. Just build a load of stables up here when they're far out the way. I think that should be enough. This will be good for dealing with his catapults, all these stables. It's probably all the horses I can get for now because they all need stable. It's hitting my wall, that catapult. This won't do. I only lost 2 knights to wipe out that entire attack force. I need to repair that wall now. Alright, thanks. I will do a 30k video at some point because people said could I do a funny 30k video. I just need to get round to filming it because it's quite hard for me to understand or like work out when I'm going to hit subscriber milestones, because basically it depends on, you know, lots of factors. Because the views I get aren't always regular. They can go up and down, sort of week on week or month on month. Right, I'm going to probably be attacked by the stuff in his castle now, because obviously I'm riding against it. That's alright, these knights I can always get more of. Right, let's run those guys down then now. I might as well put him on aggressive stance and get him smashing all his farms up. That will teach him a lesson for smashing my farms up. Yeah, but there's a thing, I think it's called radioactive quackery, if you want to look it up, Mike, and it was literally where they'd sell people things like radioactive suppositories and radioactive chocolate and radioactive condoms, and it was meant to, you know, have all these sort of health benefits, and it actually killed a lot of the people, made them really ill that used it. And then obviously there was laws brought in after that, where, you know, you couldn't use radioactive substances in household goods. Don't know what my favourite comedy is actually. I really like the Naked Gun films. I'd say they're probably my favourite. But there's like lots of really dark comedies and stuff like that I like. I'll build some nice things to keep my people happy. And this also has the added bonus of giving my troops better morale, but that has a negative effect as well, where people like to be lazy and go and sit in the flower gardens rather than working as hard. Oh, I didn't want to send all those ones down off that tower. I'll put them back up. Oh, 35 archers up there then for the time being. Yeah, the good news, if as much as they've destroyed it, we do have socialised healthcare in this country that we pay for through taxes, and it's one of the rare things with socialism where it actually works alright. So yeah, going to the doctors is free. You have to pay for prescriptions if they give you those, but you can do like what I do, and I pay for prescriptions annually, so if I go over a certain limit, I'm basically getting them for free. I'll start getting a load of the siege equipment up now. Yeah, how many engineers did I just build? 12, that would do. And it looks like it should be dark enough once I finish doing the stream that I can go out and test the night vision again with the torch and some of the other stuff I want to test it with. Now to move these up again. I'll think about taking out his castle soon. Yeah, I need more sword production, evidently. Okay. I'll sell a load of that spare iron and stone off again. Forward to get another house. Yeah, might as well start burning the farms down now. I mean, even expired filters are alright if you just want particulate protection, but yeah, generally in-date filters with all the charcoal working and that are quite expensive. Yeah, FP5s work fine on GP5s because they're normalised threads. Yeah, I'll get a load of catapults now. I mean, what kind of filters are they? I'm interested, but obviously I have no idea about being told what they are. I don't really know what my favourite sort of film genre is. I like cheesy old action films. But like I also like quite well made things like, you know, Stanley Kubrick films and things like that. So I was going to make catapults, wasn't it? So I don't really know what sort of my favourite film genre is. I could tell you things like I really like Stanley Kubrick as a director, but I'd actually have a harder job telling you my favourite genre. I mean, the thing with chromium is I think it's more important as long as the filter's, you know, not been damaged to the stage where it'd be leaking. Because most of the chromium scare originally came about when the Americans bought a load of really bad filters, didn't they? Where they had lots of issues with chromium actually leaking out the filter because the particulate top layer was pretty poor. Right, get those catapults in range. There we go. Right, let's move up the ballistas as well. Can I get the ballistas in range of his ballistas? That's what I want to do. Come on. Right, let's take out those guys on the tower though, because we can do that. It might be easy enough to move my archers up here now, because it looks like there's not much. There we go. Right, now I can start burning down all his agriculture, his quarries and things like that. If I can get some arrows into his base, that'd be good now. I'll move all these guys up now. Favourite game ever made is Oddworld Abe's Exodus. It's probably only a few millimetres thick. I'd think probably a couple of centimetres at most. Well, like maybe a centimetre at most. I don't really know. I've never measured it. I'll have to try and do that at some point. Although Armadillo, who are the people that make it, the company that makes it, their site will probably tell you if you go on there and look at their riot shields. Yeah, I'll pour some more knights in. Cool. Yeah, I think this is where the problem was, because I think it was the American C2 filters where a lot of the companies they contracted to make them didn't put very good particulate layers sort of at the top, so what ended up happening is lots of that, the said chromium, basically could leak out and be inhaled. Alright, I think I've won. Yeah, there we go. Right, that will pretty much conclude the stream. As far as I'm aware, that's been about an hour and 20 minutes long. Hopefully the microphone sounded good as well, because I've put some insulation stuff on there now. What I used, you'll find this interesting, Mike, that stuff, that torch you sold me was packed with that kind of ribbed foam. I used some elastic bands to hold that to the back of the microphone, and I've tested doing some audio recording of that off and on. By having it on there, it cuts the fan noises in the background down by about 50%. Excellent. Yeah, when I was trying to listen, I couldn't work out if I could hear fan noises or not, but it means I can have the volume of the microphone up, but without as much background noise. So what I'm going to do now, because it's pretty dark, is probably get a jumper on and a coat, and then I'm going to go... It's a shame I can't really live stream going out with the night vision, but there's no way of doing that really. But what I'm going to do is go out with the night vision and that torch with the infrared bulb in it. I'm also going to take out my IR camcorder, because that's not as light sensitive, but that torch might be good enough to give it a decent viewable range, then I get 1080p night vision footage. But yeah, it's gonna depend, but regardless, what I want to do with that torch is see if I can focus it and unfocus it, and with it focused, try and work out the maximum range. I think I might have said that on your stream, but I worked out there's a road I can see from one of the fields, and that road is, I think, about 800 meters away, according to, yeah, Google Maps. So what I'm planning on doing is using that, you know, and seeing how far, and I looked at some of the other like little things I can use as view kind of points. Well, there's one field that goes into another field, and that's about the 400 meter mark. So I should be able to work out what the maximum range is of that torch of the IR bulb in when used as something that's got competent night vision on it. So that should be quite good. So yeah, thanks for watching the stream, everybody. I think you can get Stronghold Crusader pretty cheap on Steam if it's a game you find interesting, but it's one of those sort of really good classic RTS games. As I said, they've got the HD version, which upscales properly to 1080p, but as I said, that's that irritating flicker that was in the beginning of the stream, but if you've got everything else minimised, you don't get the flicker. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And yeah, I'll be out fairly soon, then I might get some interesting footage for a later video if the conditions are alright. Regardless, I'll be able to do another night vision video, but hopefully I might spot something interesting out there. Sometimes you do. Right, see you, everybody.